This is what we call a superstitious association, right? That idea that a dog takes and associates some aversive experience with something other than what I wanted to. And it's frequently something in their environment that they're focused on, right? And so there are a few factors that determine the likelihood of a dog developing a superstitious association. One is, how much training does the dog have, right? So the more training I've done with my dog ahead of that first aversive experience, the more likely they are to take that information and apply it to their behavior, because they've learned to think that way a little bit, right? They understand the things I'm asking them, and they're much more likely to go, oh, I don't know what this is, but it must be for this, right? So training helps a lot in preventing those. The other thing is, how familiar is the dog with the aversive tool we're using, right? And so if I haven't used a prong collar very much, the early applications are the places you're most likely to get it, because it's a novel sensation to the dog and it doesn't have any place to put it. So the dog's much more likely, you're more likely to have them associated with the environment when you're first using those tools. Very true of the electronic collar as well, right? The more familiar they get with the sensation, they recognize it's not coming from the environment anymore, right? But in the very beginning, they don't know what this is, and they go, well, whatever's closest to them may be what's causing it in their mind, right? And so how much training, how familiar is the dog with the tool I'm using? The other is the dog focused on something when it happens, right? And how close is the thing they're focused on? So if my dog is looking at another dog and that dog's 100 yards away, and I pop my dog with the line, the chances that they think the other dog did it is very small, right? Because that thing's way off there. But if my dog is nose to nose with another dog and I pop them, then they very frequently think the other dog did it, and they either get afraid of or aggressive towards. And then finally, oh, there's two more. The next one is the thing they're focused on doing something? So if my dog's looking at a tree that's 10 feet away and I pop them, then they're not likely to think the tree did anything. But if my dog's focused on a person that's 10 feet away and they're going, hey, doggy, doggy, and then I pop them, they're more likely, because that person's actively doing something at the time that it came, and they think it comes from that person doing something, right? And then finally, is it a novel thing they're focused on? So if I pop my dog or correct my dog with the e-collar, the first time they see something new, like I have a new distraction. My dog's never seen rollerbladers ever, right? And so I go out and a rollerblader comes down the sidewalk. My dog's focused on the rollerblader and I pop them. They may say, whoa, never seen that before. That must be what happened as a result of it. But my dog sees rollerbladers all the time. And now they're looking at when I pop them, they're not going to think that came from that, right? So those are kind of the common factors that inform whether or not a dog's likely to have a superstitious association.